Okay, I'm here with the co-founder and director of IDCube. He's the man who's driving meaningful change in the access control market, Rishi Chahal. Rishi, thank you for having me here on your stand today.
My pleasure.
I'm delighted to be here with you at Intersec Saudi Arabia. Now, just before we jump on this interview, you and I were discussing seamlessness. It's a very interesting topic. Help our audience to just understand a little bit more about how you define seamlessness within your own platforms.
Thank you. First of all, taking your time out and conducting this interview. And seamless, it's a very complicated topic, and access control itself is not just, a piece of hardware or a piece of software, right? It is a combination, a mix of many things which processes your identity and information, right? So there has to be, to give you a cumulative set of output of the platform, there has to be a seamlessness between multiple hardwares and the software, right? Here, let me rewind a little bit and let's say, what does access control do? So what does access control do is processing of identities and information together. So when we are processing identity and the information together, the output comes out, okay? So there are a lot of hardware, as you see, different control panels. There are different type of identities in access control. There are Bluetooth identities, there are QR code identities, there are physical card identities, there are biometric identities, right? So it's a mix of different IDs coming together and joining a personality, basically, right? So that's the identity mix. And then there's an information mix. So information, it's just not the access control controller, which is the information gathered in terms of the data. It is the access control. It is the peripheral like visitor management, time attendance, and the peripheral further out from, say, video management, which are the outdoor safety and security applications. Then you have intrusion, you have intercom, you have safety applications like building management system or the fire alarm system. Everything comes in together, throws in a lot of data into access control database and forms a lot of different UIs, which is very complicated for any end user or a security director or an operations manager to monitor, okay? And that's where the seamlessness works the best, because what we do, combining everything onto a single UI on a single UX to give the minimum possible manual work or manual tasks to the security directors and to get, the best output of the system. So that's the seamlessness for us.
Fantastic. And I think it's really important, like you mentioned, with so many different UIs, to bring that together in one platform for the end users. Optimizing the way that they use their systems. Thank you for that, Rishi. Very comprehensive. We also spoke a little bit about cybersecurity. Now, we know how prevalent cyber attacks are, not just here in the Middle East, but globally. Tell us a little bit more about what you've done with your platforms to help increase the safety, the integrity, the cybersecurity for your customers.
Okay, so today we are standing, in Riyadh, one of the upcoming hub of future infrastructure. And the countries around GCC are spending trillions and trillions of dollars into creating, the infrastructure for tomorrow, for the future, right? So it's very important looking at how, the ransom attacks are, taking place across the world. So it is an obligation, I would rather say, onto every solution manufacturer or the solution OEM or the solution developers, to make that infrastructure as stable as possible, right? Like yesterday, I got information, one of our industry's giant from States, was hacked by ransomware and they asked for $51 million, just to, give them a peace of mind.
Yes.
And that's where, what we see, while the end customer is creating that $1 trillion infrastructure across the world, okay, it's not only their obligation to secure their premises from the dark web world, right? We also feel equally obligated, and that's where we bring in, into our platform, all different compliance, cybersecurity compliance framework, starting from whether it is VAPT, or it is SOC2, or it is ISO 27001, all that is included, to protect the identity and information and database for our customers in this region. And that's where we are committed, to help our customers secure not just the physical security, but the cyber security as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so important in this day and age to combine physical and cyber security. So it's great to know that IDCube are on top of that right now. And it's not just the certifications, but it's technology as well. And we know that artificial intelligence at the moment is in a huge boom across all sectors, across all technologies. How about in the access control market? What's the rate of integration of AI in access control right now?
Oh, that's a very important topic and very close to IDCube. And IDCube is spending a lot of its bandwidth, onto AI R&D. And why it is important, because in today's age and date, when we were doing our own research, only maybe 0.5% of data which is actually being analyzed in a real manner, for some sort of an output, right? And access control is one area into physical security wherein AI is unfortunately still have a miss, right? And that is what we wanted to bring in to contextualize, that huge amount of data which we are receiving every day, not from just the access control equipment, but from the peripheral as well, as we discussed, while discussing about seamlessness, right? And what problem does it really solve? It really helps our customer to take preemptive decision-making, profiling its users, right? And that's what it is important. That's why it is important, because you may have one of the best security platform, but unless there is something which is actually giving you the peace of mind by taking that preemptive decision-making and making you alert proactively, nothing will really solve the problem. No access control can solve the problem, no matter how good it is. It has to be that smart that even before your people know, your system knows what's going on, what's going wrong.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now we've touched on AI, seamlessness, very, very hot topics. I think, again, a huge topic worldwide, but it's very important that our industry is addressing this as climate change and sustainability. I'd love to know more about what IDCube is doing to uphold its goals in sustainability and also to help its customers to achieve their goals.
Very nice question, Ryan, and thank you for bringing this up. And this one topic is very close to me because I'm pretty sure, to everyone loving Mother Earth and the nature. See, when everyone is trying to put their own bit into reducing the carbon footprints, from the environment and bringing that carbon neutrality, then why not access control? And to achieve that, we are doing our own bit, wherein we are bringing, your physical credentials, which are normally the plastic cards. And while I was doing my own research, the researcher says there are around 30 to 50 billion smart cards that are out there in the world.
Wow.
In the form of not just the access control cards, but the banking cards, etc., the loyalty cards, right? But yes, as I said, we need to do our own bit. And that's where we introduced Green ID as a platform, which helps you not only with your virtual identity card and reduce the carbon footprint, but also, we are also doing, our visiting cards, the business, business cards basically onto the same application. Another research says that there are about 100 billion paper cards, the visitor cards, which gets printed every year and almost probably thrown out in a dustbin, the next day or a week, right? So that is also there. And then, bringing, so what we talk about now is also reducing a lot of cabling from the access control. That's also, access control is a very complicated, system with a lot of hardware, a lot of cable, which goes out into it. And we are trying our best, to educate our customers in the market, to sort of reduce as much as cable, as possible as, the cabling part.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Rishi. Look, it's been a very, very informative interview. I think we've covered a lot of topics here. I've got one last question for you. More of a personal opinion, what you see in the future, the near future for not just the access control market, but the security industry as a whole.
See, again, very important and, brilliant topic. And I'm pretty sure not just the IDCube, but the whole industry is, deliberating and thinking and brainstorming where this is heading. And I'm pretty sure, different OEMs have make decent amount of leaps and bounds, they have taken steps, leaps and bounds into, different areas. But as far as access control is concerned, as I was talking about, a lot more needs to be done there. A change has already come in place from, as I said, the IDs that people are already started accepting the dynamic QR code instead of physical card, physical access card. People have started using the mobile access. So, what we are seeing, when your mobile has taken place of your computers, when mobile has taken place of your, say, Walkmans or your iPods and all that, then why not it is to be used for access control? Okay. So, yes, a lot of it is going to go mobile and a lot of it is going to go wireless. And that's the future. And the objective for not just IDCube, but the entire security industry should be to reduce as much as electronics, as much as, different hardware components into access control and a security as a whole.
Thank you.
From my side.
Perfect. Thank you, Rishi. Well, look, it's been great to find out more about the innovations within IDCube, what you see for the future, and of course, sustainability is close to your heart. So I'm sure our audience are very grateful for the insights that you've given today. I wish you the best of luck here at Intersec Saudi Arabia. And look, we'll see you again at a trade show in the near future. Thanks so much, Rishi.
Thank you. Pleasure.